Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another GoodWe SSA region webinar. My name is Jason, and I'll be your host today. I have done a few webinars this year already, so please do feel free to reach out to our marketing team or have a look on our social pages for any of the links. Alternatively, go onto our YouTube channel, GoodWe South Africa, and you'll be able to find all of the previous webinars that have already been done. This will be a continuation of our series. We will go through all of our products throughout the year. And yeah, today we'll start with the products and solutions for 2026 for our SSA region. So all the products and solutions that we have for South Africa and obviously up into the rest of the Sub-Saharan regions. Just a quick look at the contents that we'll be going through today. So firstly, the product overview, what products we're going to be discussing, obviously. And then we'll go through the residential products and then our CNR products as well. Please feel free to ask any questions. We have got a Q&A section within the meeting. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask them. And we'll go through it at the end once I've gone through all the slides. And if I need to, I'll go back and we can take it from there. All right, so firstly, we will have a look at our product overview. So for everybody that was at the Storage and Solar event for 2026 at Gallagher Convention Center a few weeks ago, would have seen all of these products on display. And these are all the products that we will be displaying and obviously be available for purchase to any of the installers for the 2026 calendar year. There will be some new products that will be developed as well throughout the year and some new exciting battery options that we'll be displaying as well. Please do look out for those webinars. They'll be coming through a bit later in the year. In the next few weeks, we'll be doing a few more. We'll try and keep it to 2 to 3 webinars a month. Some of them will be very product specific, and then we'll do some other solution-based webinars. Please also have a look on our LinkedIn page. We have got webinars being done by our colleagues in East and West Africa as well. So if you do want to learn a little bit more or get a little bit more information on the products, do look out for those on our LinkedIn page at GoodWe Middle East and Africa. We have got quite a lot of webinars going on pretty much every week. Please do look out for all of them. Sign up to our newsletters, get some more information about upcoming trainings and everything as well. We would love to hear from you and obviously see you guys a lot more often. So these are residential product ranges. So we'll start from left to right. It is our ETLV inverter. Then the BAT14, which is a 14.3 kilowatt hour battery. Our ES Unique at the top, which is our single phase 3 to 12 kilowatt unit. Underneath that, the EOG2 inverter. That EOG2 inverter is our smaller off-grid inverter. Next to that is our Lynx AG3 5.5 kilowatt hour battery. That is a 1.5C 5 kilowatt hour battery. And then above that, the Lynx UG3. The Lynx UG3 battery is our outdoor rated IP66 rated battery. And then right on the end is our ESA. So ESA is an all-in-one unit with the actual inverter at the top and then the battery, DC-DC battery stack underneath. We'll go through all of these products as we get through the presentation today. Next is our CNR range. Obviously, the range is a lot smaller because of the versatility of our inverters. However, we will go through all of them today. On the left-hand side, we have got our ET100 inverter. Underneath that, the STS 125K. That is the all-in-one, not all-in-one, that is the full ET100 hybrid solution when we pair the ET100 inverter and the STS underneath it together. Next is the BAT56, so the 56 kilowatt hour 1C battery stack, high voltage battery stack, that we will go through as well. Next up to that is the ESA 261. This is 125 kilowatt, 261 kilowatt hour PCS solution that we will go through today as well. Lastly, on the top right corner is our GT 150 kilowatt. That is 150 kilowatt grid-tied inverter. And then lastly, underneath that is the SSA 3000C, which is our smart energy controller that we use for all of our CNI solutions. That is the brain for the system, the control hub, and what we use obviously for all of our control and load monitoring, limit control, and. All right, next is the residential products and solutions. So a little bit more of a deep dive into it. Again, still just giving you a brief face value look at all of our products. And as we go through the rest of the year, we'll deep dive into every product specifically as well. I think in some of the previous webinars we've touched on the ES Unique already. We've touched on the ET50 kilowatt inverter already. And I know that the next inverter series or next inverter in the series that we'll be discussing is the ETLV, which is our 3-phase low voltage inverter with the BAT 14 kilowatt hour battery. So like I mentioned, please do have a look out for the upcoming webinars, and we'll be able to give you guys a lot more in-depth information. Today is just a full product overview for you guys to see exactly what we have got in the market and what we can purchase from our distributing partners. So in the residential energy storage system range, we've got 3 different inverters that cater for 3 different needs. The sort of flagship section of our inverters is the ES Unique, which is in the middle. That is from 3 to 12 kilowatts, and that is our single phase low voltage battery inverter. To the right of that is our ETLV, which is our energy storage 3-phase low voltage inverter. So from 5 kilowatts to 20 kilowatts. The main focus in the SSA region is from 12 to 20 kilowatts, so 12, 15, and a 20 kilowatt 3-phase low voltage inverter. On the left-hand side is our new EOG2 inverter. This is extremely new to the market for us at GoodWe. We've got a few units currently being beta tested in the SSA region, and the distributors will be starting to get stock of these hopefully very, very soon. So from 3 to 6 kilowatts, this is our off-grid inverter. We can have grid connected, obviously, to supplement into the loads if PV is not high enough, or to charge the batteries. However, it is a off-grid inverter, so that's how we can use it. The bottom left, this is where we have done a lot of development lately, and we're extremely, extremely proud and excited to launch some of our new batteries coming soon. However, the batteries that we'll be going through for now will be the Lynx AG3, which is a 5 kilowatt hour, 1.5C battery, meaning that we can put it on a 6 kilowatt inverter and still be able to output up to 7.2 kilowatts, meaning that we don't need to double up on the inverters, on the batteries, if we don't have the funds for it. Next is the Lynx AG3 14.3 kilowatt hour battery. So the 14.3 kilowatt hour battery we can pair with any of the inverters above. And then new coming soon is the Lynx AG4, which is a 16 kilowatt hour battery that will replace the 14.3 kilowatt hour battery that we've currently got in stock in Africa. Lastly is the ESA, or the all-in-one unit. ESA, it's from 3 to 10 kilowatts, and then we can stack the batteries up for between 5 and 48 kilowatt hours, so up to 6 stacks, and then we will be able to parallel the system to build it on bigger and bigger as well. So this has got DC-DC battery modules in, meaning we can mix parallel old batteries and new batteries, put them together, and we can scale the system up accordingly. So let's start with our EO inverter. This is the new off-grid inverter from 3 kilowatts up to 6 kilowatts, depending on the inverter model that is selected. We can parallel up to 10 of these units, meaning we can get to a maximum of 36 kilowatts. Apologies, 6 of these units, meaning we can get to a maximum of 36 kilowatts and 150 kilowatt hours on the battery side. We've got 2 MPPTs with 1 string each, meaning you can have north-facing and south-facing, or north-facing and east-facing panels, and that will work perfectly fine. Quite unique and very nice to the new off-grid inverter that we have got. We have got a smart load control as well as a dedicated generator connection. With the smart load control means that we can have a secondary AC output and have that controlled depending on how we want to use it. When our batteries are full, allow our backup loads and our normal smart loads to run. And when the battery reaches a lower SOC, turn off our smart load and allow only our backup loads to run. So nice in an off-grid application where we know how much PV we can generate in a day, and we obviously want to then be able to handle all of our loads at one time, and when we can't handle all of the loads, turn off some and allow the rest of our system to work until the next day when we've got enough PV again to charge our batteries up. Compatible batteries for the EOG2, the Lynx AG3 5 kilowatt hour battery, and then the new coming soon Lynx AG4 batteries. The Lynx AG4 batteries will have a 5 and 10 kilowatt hour battery there, and those will be DC-DC module type batteries, meaning we'll be able to mix and match old and new. So with regards to the new Lynx AG4 batteries, we will be doing a launch for these batteries in one of the upcoming webinars where we discuss all of the low voltage battery solutions. With our off-grid inverter, it is IP66 rated. It does come in at a low cost with a long lifetime on it. The commissioning is extremely straightforward and very simple. I was on site yesterday at one of our beta unit testing sites, and I commissioned the system in less than 5 minutes. So it was extremely quick, very straightforward, very simple to do. Warranty 5 years, upgradable to 10 years when pairing with our GoodWe battery. Next, with this unit, it is a single phase low voltage inverter. We can, however, connect 3 of them together to form 3-phase. So we can have a 3-phase solution on here. It does support black start, meaning that we can install the system without any grid available. As I mentioned, it is an off-grid inverter, so we don't need to have that on. One of the nice things for this unit that's quite different to all of our other units that we've got is because it's our extremely compact unit, the actual communication dongle has been built into the system, meaning that there is no external communication dongle that we need. There's a built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chip, and we use that built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chip, one, to commission the unit, and two, to get it online for us to do remote monitoring and configuration. The 4.3-inch color LCD or touchscreen, that touchscreen for commissioning on site if we need to use it that way, and obviously for monitoring as well. The next unit we'll look at is the ES Unique. So the ES Unique is something that I obviously trust very much, and I'm very happy with the way that this inverter works. We have installed a lot of these systems in the South African region, as well as up into the rest of the SSA. So this is from 3 kilowatts up to 12. So we've got a 3.6 or 3.6, 5, and 6 kilowatt unit, as well as a 8, 10, and 12 kilowatt unit as well. The 3.3, 3.6, 5, and 6 kilowatt units are all natural convection cooled, meaning there are no fans or anything at the back of the unit. It runs purely off natural convection cooling, so with the heatsink on the back. And then on the 8, 10, and 12 kilowatt units, we have got a dedicated or a included smart fan. That smart fan only turns on if we reach temperatures of 60 degrees Celsius internal temperature, and will turn off between 50 and 52 degrees Celsius again. So the inverter will keep itself cool and regulate temperature as it needs to, and it will not obviously force the fan to run constantly. On the bigger side of the inverters, on the 10 and 12 kilowatt unit, we have got 2 MPPTs and 2 strings each. In parallel, up to 6 of these units, making it a maximum of 72 kilowatts and then 150 kilowatt hours. Same kind of solution, single phase to 3-phase, we can do it on these units as well. And with all of our inverters, come with a standard 5-year warranty. If we add a GoodWe battery, we increase the warranty to 10 years, Alternatively, we can purchase warranty extensions as well from the distributing partners. So if you have got an inverter, you want to use a specific battery, you can, and you can upgrade the warranty that way. One of the better solutions or better reasons for using a GoodWe battery and inverter is for the after-sales support. GoodWe prides themselves on the after-sales support that we offer, and knowing that the inverter and battery have been manufactured by the same people, by the same manufacturer, with all of the communication protocol, hardware, and everything being as robust and as strong as it is, you know that you're not going to go wrong anyway. With the way that our warranties work, we do a swap out warranty regardless of the product. So if something goes wrong in the system and you need to do a warranty repair or replacement, we will send you a new unit. The installer will then swap it out, put the new unit on the wall. We'll arrange collection and take the old unit away with us. So when we do that, we will do it for both inverter and battery up to the end of the warranty cycle. An extremely unique feature for our inverters is the 200% PV input oversizing. So this is usable oversizing or usable capacity that we can use in our inverters, meaning for the 12 kilowatt ES Unique, for example, we can connect 24 kilowatts of PV on it, and all 24 kilowatts of this is usable, meaning at the same time we can run 12 kilowatts of power to our loads and 12 kilowatts of power can charge our batteries at the same time. So in the early morning, if we've got a heavy load and the batteries are quite low, we'll be able to disperse more than 12 kilowatts worth of power between the inverter, batteries, and the loads. We have got a dedicated generator port on the ES Unique. That dedicated generator port we can use for a few different things. Generator in, smart load out, and also microgrid operation. So microgrid operation, meaning we can put a smaller grid-tied inverter on the generator port of the ES Unique. And then use the ES Unique to grid form for the grid-tied inverter and accept the PV power that we're getting from that grid-tied inverter to either go towards our loads or charge our battery. Next is the ETLV. So this is the energy storage three-phase low voltage inverter. So our three-phase LV inverter series. And we have got from 5 kilowatts up to 20 kilowatts. Like I mentioned earlier, from 12 to 20 is what we'll store and use in Africa. These inverters, we can parallel up to 10 of them, run them in on-grid or off-grid operation, and parallel them with an RS485 cable, CAN cable, between each inverter. And the same as all of our other inverters, we have a 5-year warranty with an extension up to 10 years on the inverter when using any of our GoodWe batteries. A few extremely key features on these inverters. One of them being the dual battery inputs, dual independent battery inputs on the 15 and 20 kilowatt units. So on the 15 and 20 kilowatt units, we can connect 2 different types of batteries onto it, meaning on input 1, we can put one 5 kilowatt hour battery. On input 2, we can put 3 16 kilowatt hour batteries, and we can run them completely independently, meaning that we can set battery port 1 to discharge all the way down to 100% during on-grid operation, and battery input 2, we only want to discharge to 50%, so we've got 50% reserved in the bank in case we go off-grid. So we can run these 2 battery inputs completely independently. We can change the depth of discharges for each of them, have different battery models, different battery brands, and let them run completely independently. Next is the 150% three-phase unbalanced output. So when it comes to residential space, it's extremely difficult to balance your loads in a three-phase application. We understand this, we do know this. And due to that, we can then run up to 150% unbalanced during off-grid application or towards our loads. Obviously, when the grid is there, we'll be able to supplement anything. However, when we're running off-grid from our batteries and PV, we can then have up to 150% unbalanced output. What does it mean? On a 15 kilowatt unit, we have got 5 kilowatts per phase that we'll be able to output. With the 150% three-phase unbalanced output means that we can unbalance that, meaning on phase one, we could have up to 7.5 kilowatts of load. Phase two, maybe we have an additional 6 kilowatts of load, and the remaining we can then put onto phase three, or the remaining load on phase three up to 15 kilowatts will be able to handle. Next is the MPPTs. So with the ETLV, we have got up to 4 MPPTs, so on a 20 kilowatt unit, 4 MPPTs with 1 string each. So every single string is completely independently monitored and controlled, meaning we can have 4 different roof orientations or 4 different roof angles and have all of our panels completely independently monitored and controlled so that we can get the most efficiency out of the PV. Next is the batteries that we have got compatible with it, the Lynx AG3, 5 kilowatt and 14 kilowatt hour battery, the new Lynx AG4 battery coming soon, 16 kilowatt hour battery, and the 5 to 10 kilowatt hour batteries as well. With regards to our residential inverters, the ES Unique as well as the ETLV, we can handle up to double the inverter capacity for 10 seconds for any inductive load or any overload that may occur. So for example, on the 20 kilowatts ETLV, we can handle up to 40 kilowatts for 10 seconds. So 20 kilowatts or 40 kilowatts for 10 seconds. That does not get taken on the actual batteries itself. That all gets taken on the inverter. So on the inverters, we have got a built-in DC capacitor bank, and that DC capacitor bank is what allows us to hold these heavy overloads. So we can handle up to, like I mentioned, 40 kilowatts in a 20 kilowatt unit, or 20 kilowatts in a 10 kilowatt single phase unit, up to double the inverter capacity for 10 seconds. The ETLV also handles double PV input oversizing, meaning that we can oversize up to 40 kilowatts of PV on a 20 kilowatt unit and allow us to use all of that power. Next is our ESA, 3 to 10 kilowatts, 5 to 48 kilowatt hour solution. This is our all-in-one solution. So it is an all-in-one battery cabinet, battery rack with inverter on the top. This is also very new to market for GoodWe, and we have got a few different ways we can connect this system. So we can mix parallel up to 6 units, meaning we can have a 3 kilowatt inverter, the 10 kilowatt inverter with a 5 kilowatt inverter in between, and up to 10 of them, we can parallel them together. Standard 5-year warranty of this inverter or the system, upgradable up to 10 years. We have got DC-DC batteries in this system, meaning that we can have old and new battery mixing and have it work the way we need to. So on the old battery and new batteries, meaning that we can have a system connected with maybe 10 kilowatt inverter with 15 kilowatt hours of battery, and in a year's time we want to increase that, we can just add on the additional stacks and the batteries will balance and be able to output as they need to. Like all of our GoodWe inverters, 200% PV input oversizing and microgrid operation with PV inverters also possible. All of our inverters are able to be monitored remotely as well as being configured remotely, and all of our inverters are IP66 rated as well. So that's it for our residential products and solutions. We have got quite a varied list of inverters that should be able to meet anybody's needs in the residential space. Next, we'll move on to the C&I products and solutions. This is where we have seen a lot of advancement and progress in the market recently. Obviously, the C&I space is extremely busy, I think due to the rising costs in diesel, as well as the rising costs in electricity tariffs. We are seeing a lot more inverters being installed, not necessarily only for storage saving, but also for things like peak shaving and peak demand tariff protection. So things like peak shaving are starting to become a real thing, an extremely important thing in our market. And we are still seeing a lot of this happening where we are just trying to cut off the top section to try and just eliminate our peak demand charges. Other places where we are seeing a lot of C&I solutions being installed is in areas where there is a very stable grid connection. However, there is a high power demand, meaning that we are using a lot of electricity from our national grid, and it's obviously quite expensive. So that's where our C&I on-grid inverters come into play. So from the 100 to 150 kilowatt inverters, we are seeing a lot of these still being deployed nowadays, and not every solution is necessarily being done just for backup or bad power in the area. We're using it for things like peak shaving, just to try and curb the cost, as well as to help take some of the tension off of the grid during normal everyday operation. So we've got our GT 100 to 150 kilowatt hour inverters. So there's a few different ones in the models, 100, 110, 125, and 150 kilowatts. Those are our grid-tied inverters. And then our C&I hybrid inverters, the ET 25 to 50 and ET 80 to 100 kilowatt hour unit and 100 kilowatt units. Then we have got our C&I battery solutions. So we have got 3 batteries actually, with the forthcoming soon, the BAT S 50 kilowatt hour battery, which is a 56 kilowatt hour battery solution. We have got the BAT 100, which is in between the two of these, which is a 100 kilowatt hour battery, all in one battery cabinet. And then the 125 261 kilowatt hour PCS solution that we will be discussing as well. Coming soon on top of this, we have got a 200 kilowatt battery as well as a 125 kilowatt hour inverter. We will start with the flagship product for GoodWe, the C&I space currently. This is where we have seen a lot of success and a lot of installations being done. The reason for this is because of the versatility of the product and how we use it. This is our ET50, so our energy storage 3-phase 50 kilowatt hour, 50 kilowatt inverter, and we can parallel up to 10 of these units together. When we look at the inverter, we think of it as a grid-tied inverter with a battery port. Does not have any AC switching on the inverter itself. All of the AC switching gets done through the STS, the static transfer switch. So the inverter itself handles all of your DC-AC converting. However, it has got one AC port, meaning it runs as a grid-tied inverter, but we run that grid-tied port straight into the STS, and the STS has got space for your generator port, your backup loads, as well as your grid connection, and that's where all your AC switching happens. It takes a lot of focus off of the actual inverter itself. It allows the inverter to do exactly what it's very good and strong at doing, and that is the DC to AC converting and power management. The STS itself does all the switching and allows all the AC power that we are receiving from the inverter to go to where it needs to go. We've got up to 4 millisecond UPS level switching, and we can, like I mentioned, we can connect up to 10 of these units together using our SEC 3000C controller. And there we can have up to a 500 kilowatt, 4 megawatt hour plant when we're using our BAT 100 or 100 kilowatt hour outdoor battery cabinet. With the BAT S50 series, the 56 kilowatt hour battery stack, we can connect up to 6 of these together in parallel onto one inverter, meaning we can go 500 kilowatts, 3.6 megawatt hours of battery connections with the BAT S50 series. Next is the ET 100 kilowatt hour battery inverter, connecting with our BAT 200, which is a new 200 kilowatt hour battery stack that will be coming soon. The ET100 works very similarly to the ET50, however, it is obviously a much bigger inverter. A few key feature differences. We have got 200% PV input oversizing, so 200 kilowatt hours, 200 kilowatt peak of PV on the 100 kilowatt inverter. We have got 3 different models of STSs that we can connect to. The standalone STS being the 125 kilowatt STS, and then we have got a 350 as well as a 700 kilowatt STS that we'll connect to. How this will work, I'll get to in a few slides time. We have got a wide compatibility of third-party batteries that we can do or can use as well across the board, residential and CNI units, meaning that if we have any requirement to do compatibility with any third-party battery integrator, we are more than willing to assist. However, we have already got a very broad range of batteries that are compatible, batteries like BYD, Dynas, PowerTech, and then some of our local battery manufacturers like Lithium Battery South Africa or Revolve. We have got compatibility with them as well. And then we've got batteries also like BSL, as well as Solar MD, Freedom One. We have done compatibility with in the past as well. This is the ET100 series parallel solution. You'll notice that we have got 2 different battery stacks on every inverter. The inverter has got dual independent battery inputs, the same as our ETLV, meaning we can have 2 completely independent batteries connected, or we can connect all of them together, like it is shown here. For on-grid parallel, we can connect up to 15 inverters together. If we use the BAT 200 series inverter batteries that we will be launching soon, we will be able to connect up to 20 of these inverters in parallel. Reason being is because on the BAT 200 series batteries, we have got additional communication ports, and we can use those to link up more of these inverters together. So this is a on-grid solution. We have got no STSs connected. We are connecting all of this to our SEC 3000C controller. And then coming soon, we have got our microgrid solution. So we say coming soon, not because we are waiting for the inverters, but because we are still in the final processes of completing our STS 700K. So the STS 700K is what allows us to connect multiple ET100 inverters together. It's where all of our switching occurs. So all of our inverters will connect together to one common STS, and that common STS will be able to then use to distribute the power to our backup loads, as well as receiving the power from the grid or our generator, or if there is no generator, to a secondary AC output as we may require. Next, and new to GoodWe, is the ET100 True Zero Break solution. So this is 0 millisecond transfer or a full off-grid supply while using our inverters and supplementing load from the on-grid side as well. So how this works is we DC-DC combine two inverters together to a battery stack or two battery stacks, and we run all of our loads in off-grid operation constantly. We do this to be able to run extremely large systems with 0 millisecond transfer, extremely volatile systems that cannot have up to even 1 millisecond of downtime. We run with a solution like this. So to ensure that any of our sensitive loads do not become interrupted during any transfer or switching time, even though we can get up to 4 or get down to 4 milliseconds of transfer, there will be some application scenarios where that is still too quick or too slow. So this is for things like massive data centers or huge manufacturing plants operations where we cannot afford any downtime at all. How we do this is by having on-grid inverters or inverters on the on-grid side connected with your AC from the grid, as well as off-grid inverters connected with those two inverters connected to the same battery stacks. Your third grid-tied inverters, whether they are GoodWe or third-party, will connect up into your ET100 inverters, and the ET100 inverters will discharge power or receive power from everywhere to charge the batteries, and those batteries will then discharge through your off-grid inverters out towards your loads. Meaning, regardless of whether we're on-grid or off-grid, the entire solution will be able to operate. Next, and lastly, the ESA 125 261 kilowatt hour. So this is our PCS. It is a 125 kilowatt PCS with 260 kilowatt hour battery that is all in the cabinet. This has got multi-stage level liquid cooling and fire suppression. It has got a air conditioning unit built into it to make sure that everything remains cool and temperature controlled, obviously through the liquid cooling. We also then have got M16 rings in the top to bring this in on with a crane. There is space for forklift maneuvering. It comes all in one, pre-built already, dropped onto site. So this is, like I mentioned, pretty much the closest thing to a plug-and-play solution as you can get. So we use these kind of things in on-grid parallel as an AC coupled solution, connect up to 20 of these together. And this is where we look at things like peak shaving or massive system support, just to try and bear that load or carry some of the load from the AC itself when we can. We connect our grid-tied inverters to the SEC 3000C controller, and through that, we'll be able to then charge these batteries up and be able to use our grid-tied inverters to charge the batteries and allow the batteries to discharge during high peak demand charges times. It's an extremely high efficiency rating on the PCS of 98.6%. We will be able to do a microgrid solution as well, where we can connect 5 of these 125 kilowatt PCSs together to a STS. That STS will then be able to handle all of our switching, can also handle our on-grid inverters, diesel generator, all of our loads and everything. All of that gets connected to an SEC 3000C controller. So that SEC 3000C controller is the main brain, and that is how we'll be able to supply all of the power in a microgrid solution. So 5 of those PCS solutions will become the energy storage system, or the ESS, and that will be able to then distribute all their power, all of its power into the STS, and that will be able to supply sufficient power to all of the loads. That is all for the physical presentation for today. Go through some of the Q&A questions to see if there are any. Okay, we have one question regarding the communication dongles. Let me just go back and explain the comms dongles that we receive with the units. We'll start with the EO inverter quickly. So on the EO inverter, we do not have a physical external communication dongle, communication module that we receive like we normally would. The EO, it is completely built in. We have a dedicated Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip that is built into the unit that allows us to have it as an all-in-one without the communication dongle. However, on the rest of all of our units, we have got a physical communication dongle. So if we look at the ET50, we zoom in, you'll see the communication dongle there. It's a Wi-Fi LAN kit 2.0. That Wi-Fi LAN kit 2.0 we can use on the ES Unique, on the ET-LV, on the ET50, on the ET100, on our GT series inverters. The same communication dongle we use on all of our units together. If we have it connected in one inverter and we need to move it over to the other inverter, press and hold the reload button for 5 to 10 seconds. It will reset the dongle. We can unplug it, plug it into the next unit, and off we go. So that communication dongle is completely universal. That communication dongle also gets put into every single inverter box, and we'll always have a communication dongle included in our system. We have one more question. Loving the best solutions being offered by GoodWe. These can work well for the off-grid smart precinct I'm developing. What I want to ask is, does GoodWe also offer BRPV solar roofs? So yes, we do. Generally, our BRPV we bring in as a on a project-specific basis. So it's not something we generally stock in South Africa or in Africa at all. However, we have got this available. So please do reach out to myself or to anybody else at the GoodWe team. What I'll do is before I close off here, I will just share our communication links, and you can communicate with us anywhere on those. So we have got BRPV available. The BRPV that we have got is quite a large variety or quite a large list. I'll be able to share everything through with you as well, and we can pair that with our inverters, be able to use it as a full all-in-one solution. We've got much thinner, lightweight stick-on panels. We've got louver system panels. We've got panels that look kind of like a Harvey tile that you'll put onto your normal roofs or roofing structures. We have got carport structures where it completely combines and joins in to make it waterproof underneath. Yeah, we have got quite a large variety of BRPV solutions, and that I'll definitely be able to give you information on. Okay, I just want to stop sharing and share this quickly. These are our support contact details. I'll leave this up for a few seconds. If anybody would like to screenshot it or take it down, more than welcome. This is how you can get in contact with our support team. This is our level 1 support team that assists with any of our after sales queries. They can also get you in touch with the right teams that you need to get in touch with as well. Thank you very much to everybody that joined. If you do have any other questions, please do reach out to me, reach out to Linda, reach out to anybody else. You can get in contact with us in any of our socials, as well as through our support contact details that you see on the screen now. Thank you very much to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good weekend when we get to it tomorrow, after tomorrow. But yeah, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you at the next one. Thank you very much.